Parents worry. It's part of being a parent. We worry about all the things that could possibly harm our children. We do all we can to protect them. Sometimes our efforts to keep them safe limit their opportunities to fully explore and experience their world. How parents' fears impact children. One of the biggest fears amongst American parents is abduction. 72% of parents worry about abduction. 14% say it's their biggest fear for their child. Parents believe that the risk is much higher than it used to be, when actually rates of child abduction have been steady for over 20 years. Abduction is a rare risk. If you total up all the cases of stereotypical kidnappings, where a stranger snatches a child and disappears with them, in a year it might be 105 children in the US, mostly teenage girls. We have almost 70 million children under age 18, so 105 cases means less than a 2 in 1 million chance. It is a tragedy for those families, but a rare tragedy. Despite the unlikelihood of abduction, the fear stops parents from sending their kids outside to play. In one survey, 19% of parents never allow their child to play outside. In Great Britain, 49% said they limited their children's outdoor play because of fears about stranger danger. What do kids miss out on when we keep them inside? They miss out on a lot of what we think of when we say the words happy childhood. Running in the sprinklers, playing in the backyard, riding bikes around the neighborhood, climbing trees, playing tag. Parents need to consider not just the potential risks of unsupervised time outdoors, but also consider the risks of limited time outdoors. Missing out on all the physical, cognitive, and mood benefits of outdoor time, and perhaps suffering from nature deficit disorder. Far less physical activity. Setting children up for a sedentary lifestyle and the related health effects. Lack of opportunities for independent decision-making. If our children never play alone or walk places unsupervised, we are limiting their ability to use their own judgment and develop problem-solving skills. Parents need to teach safety skills to their children when they're young, because that lays the foundation for them making smarter decisions as they grow older. When you teach a toddler how to carefully climb a small tree, teach them how to be cautious, but don't convey fear, because you want them to have both the skills and the courage to climb bigger trees as they get older. In a similar way, if you want to start teaching your child at a young age how to stay safe around unsafe people, and don't create a universal fear of strangers, you need to teach what behaviors would show us that someone was a tricky person, and how we would avoid interactions that put us at risk. Why not teach stranger danger? For decades, parents and educators have taught the idea of stranger danger. There are several flaws to this message. It creates a culture of fear. It can be frightening to a child to be out in public when they've been told that all the strangers around them are people to be feared. Talking about bad people means that our children are on the lookout for people who look and act evil, the mustache-twirling, black-clad villain. Most people who perpetrate crimes against children are nice-looking and quite charming. Talking about odd-looking or dangerous-looking people, or people who don't look like us, can lead to racial profiling and prejudiced attitudes. Creating fear of strangers might mean that our children are afraid to seek help from adults when needed, such as a lost child who is too frightened to approach a security guard to help find their parents, or a lost child who evades rescuers because they are strangers to him. Crimes against children are much more likely to be committed by someone the child knows than by a stranger. For child sexual abuse, only 10% of perpetrators are strangers, 60% are non-family members who are known to the child and family, 30% are family members. In 23% of reported cases, the perpetrator was under the age of 18. For abduction, 90% of the kidnappers are family members. If your children have been taught that strangers are always bad, but that the people they know are always safe, then we have not protected them. You probably don't want your children to be frightened of all the new people they encounter. You want your children, and the children you work with, to feel safe in their world. Children are happiest and learn best when they feel safe. You need to tell children, through your words, your body language, and your interactions, that the vast majority of people are good people. Even a stranger who looks very different from the people you interact with every day is most likely a good person. But when children are around 3 years old is a good time to start talking about tricky people. They're not a certain kind of people, like strangers, or like people whose skin is a different color, but they are any person who displays certain odd behaviors. Those behaviors should raise red flags for a child and let them know they should check in with a trusted adult for advice on how to respond. What are tricky people? Here are some things to tell your child to watch out for. Tricky people may ask kids for help, such as help finding a lost puppy or pretending to be hurt. If safe grown-ups really need help, they'll ask other grown-ups. If an adult asks them for help, they should go speak to a trusted adult. Try to arrange for alone time with a child. Let your child know that it's best to have 2 adults around them or be with other kids and an adult. They should not go somewhere alone with one adult unless a trusted adult has told them it's okay. Ask kids to do something that breaks the family rules or just doesn't feel right. Teach your child the idea of thumbs up or thumbs down. Does the interaction feel perfectly fine to them? Thumbs up? Or does it give them an uncomfortable, uh-oh feeling? Thumbs down. Encourage them to trust their instincts. Ask kids to keep a secret from their parents or their teacher, or threaten something like, if you tell anyone, I won't be your friend anymore. Or, if you tell, you'll be in big trouble. Anytime this happens, a child should tell their parents or a teacher. Touches a child a lot. Tickling, wrestling, asking for hugs. Especially if they get angry or unhappy, if the child says no to the touch. Touches a child in a private area. Asks a child to touch their private areas. Asks to see a child's private areas. Asks to take pictures of private areas. Or shows a child their private areas. Tells the child, there's an emergency. You need to come with me right now. Note: parents should be wary of someone who offers too enthusiastically to help out by doing things like free babysitting, car rides, or trips that put the child alone and unsupervised with that person. Especially if they try to make the parent feel guilty for saying no to them, try to make one particular kid feel special. Lavishing praise and gifts. Tell your child that if someone offers to give them something, candy, money, a kitten, they should not take it. They should say that they need to ask their parents if that is okay. Deciding to let a child play outside unsupervised or let an older child go places without you requires a leap of faith on your part. It can be scary to take that risk, but remember that keeping them at home and in sight at all times also creates risks. It limits their potential to be active, independent, decision-making people. Part of parenting is teaching our kids the skills they need to know so that later on, they don't need us so much anymore. This is just one of many things that we do to prepare them to be out in the world on their own. So that was all for today's video. We hope you liked the video and our tips will help you in your parenting. For more videos like this, do subscribe to our channel and please leave a like to show us that our tips help you. See you next time.